it's Mina, and today in this video I'm going to do my top 10 SpongeBob characters. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I had to move the camera back. Anyway, so I'm going to do my top 10 SpongeBob characters. Now, for those who don't know, I love the show SpongeBob. It's like my favorite show of all time. I loved watching it so much when I was a kid. I think it came out in like the 90s or something. I don't know. I will have to look it up. I can't remember how old, or what year, or how old I was when the show came out, but I know I've been watching it ever since I was a kid. And I actually just started recently watching it. So I'm going to tell you guys some of my favorite characters of SpongeBob, and I'm going to get started. And if you guys have any favorite characters from SpongeBob, then let me know down in the comments below. So I'm going to get started. So number one on my list would have to be SpongeBob Squarepants, obviously. Now, what I like about SpongeBob is I like how he likes to have fun. He's always happy, smiley, and he cares about people, even though he makes a lot of mistakes. And I like how he loves his job, and he'll do whatever it takes to help his friends and care for people, even though they don't like him and find him annoying. It is and that's what I really like about him, and I love that he's kind of that he likes to have fun, like go jellyfishing with his friends and play with something like a reef blower. It is pretty funny. Number two on my list would have to be Patrick Star, and this is SpongeBob's best friend. I like Patrick because I like how dumb he is, and even though he's like really dumb, like he doesn't get things, like he'll make a mistake, like he'll draw a picture in something he's supposed to write his name in. Okay, so, like, for instance, this is an example of Patrick being dumb. Here's what he does. He sees a book, and he thinks it's a test, and he starts freaking out because he didn't study. And then they tell him to write his name, and as he's going to write his name, he covers up his name so nobody would look at his name, because I assume he still thinks it's a test or something. It is pretty funny. And then his name ends up being just a picture of himself, which is hilarious. And I like how he will learn something. Like, for instance, he goes to a restaurant which happens to be a hotel, and then he says, "I'll need some help with my bags," and something he just finds out is a hotel, and he'll end up having bags, and they'll go, "You just found out this is a hotel," and he's like, "This is a hotel." It's pretty funny. I really like Patrick. Number three on my list would be Sandy Cheeks. I like Sandy because she's really into science, and I love that she's very into karate, very independent, like all the female characters in TV shows. And I like that she's so kind and caring towards SpongeBob, even though he constantly messes up a lot of her experiments. She still considers him a friend. Number four on my list would be Squidward Tentacles. I like Squidward because I like how he thinks of himself as talented, but he actually isn't. Like, for instance, he paints pictures of himself that he thinks are good, but other people think they look terrible. And he'll play the clarinet, which he thinks he's very talented at, but he ends up being terrible at that too. And I like how he has kind of a love-hate relationship with SpongeBob. Like, at first sometimes he doesn't like SpongeBob, but then he ends up liking him after he does him favors, but still cares for him, and I really like that about him. But sometimes I like how Squidward kind of has a like and dislike relationship with SpongeBob. Like, most of the time he doesn't like him, but when he sees when he either hurts his feelings or sees SpongeBob sad, he shows that he cares. He cares for him in some way. Number five on my list had to be Plankton. Even though Plankton's kind of the villain of the show, I really like Plankton because I like how he tries to have all these ideas to steal the Krabby Patty formula, but it ends up never working. All his ideas he has end up never working. Even though he considers himself a genius, but he really isn't. Number 6 on my list would have to be Mr. Krabs. I like Mr. Krabs because I like that he's so, I find it kind of annoying how he's so greedy and won't lend a penny to anybody. He kind of reminds me of Mr. Scrooge from A Christmas Carol. But I like that he's so greedy, but most of the time he ends up caring for people people, and he always cries whenever he, like, loses his money, like a dime, or, like, one measly dime, or 1 penny. It is pretty funny. Number 7 on my list had to be Gary. Now, Gary is SpongeBob's pet snail, and what I like about Gary is I like how he kind of talks to SpongeBob, and he has, like, his own, like, way of communicating with SpongeBob, and he cares for SpongeBob because SpongeBob takes such good care of him and feeds him, and SpongeBob completely understands what he's saying, even though he just goes, meow. It is pretty cool. I think he's, like, kind of supposed to be, like, an underwater version of a cat. Like, you know how cats meow? Like, I think snails are supposed to be underwater versions of cats. And then you got, like, worms that are, like, supposed to be underwater versions of dogs or something, I think. Number 8 on my list would have to be Pearl. Funny, Pearl was my dog's name. Well, a lot of you guys know that. If you watch my channel, you know that I used to have a dog named Pearl. I miss you, Pearl. You're such a good dog. Anyway, sorry about that. That was weird. I like Pearl because I like how she's that typical teenager who, like, to spend money whenever she feels like it, and she wants, like, something special, like, big and expensive, like a lot of teenagers do, and she's a shopaholic, and I love that, and I like how she likes to be cool around her friends, and I like how she likes SpongeBob and gets along with him really well, and she cares for him because he helps her out a lot, and I like that that she doesn't, it's pretty interesting, she doesn't really have too much of a relationship with Squidward, like a friendly relationship with Squidward, like she doesn't really communicate with him, she just communicates with SpongeBob better, and I really like that. That she, even though she's a teenager, she still, like, enjoys SpongeBob and cares for him. Number 9 on my list would have to be Mrs. Puff. Mrs. Puff is SpongeBob's driving instructor. I like Mrs. Puff because I like how she will try to get rid of SpongeBob, and Bob because she keeps failing her driving class and kind of making her look bad, but I like how she tends to care for him and help him out and try everything she can to teach him. Number 10 on my list had to be Karen, and this is Plankton's wife, who happens to be a computer. I like Karen because I like how she constantly disagrees with Plankton's ideas and tells him how terrible they are and they never work. It is pretty funny, and because he ends up never listening to her advice, and then she and then she, like, helps him out, even though sometimes he will take her advice. It is pretty cool. Okay, so those are my top 10 SpongeBob characters. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!